and welcome to Day 12 of the Healing from CPTSD course. Okay, so I know we've covered quite a bit of ground here in this course so far, and you might be feeling a bit overwhelmed with all of the things you think you need to do in order to heal from CPTSD. That's okay, and what you're feeling is perfectly natural. What we're going to be doing in this module is taking a look at the big picture of your life and healing from CPTSD. We're going to break it all down into simple baby steps that you can take in whatever area you'd like to first and actually set goals for healing from CPTSD. We will then focus on one area or goal at a time so you don't feel overwhelmed and can make progress in a gradual way. Today's module is going to be kind of fun as we will be doing what's called a goal setting workshop. This goal setting workshop is for you and your life in general, for your healing and empowerment, as well as to be a regular part of the healing from CPTSD process that you will be learning in tomorrow's module. Now, setting and achieving goals for yourself is extremely powerful whether you struggle with something like CPTSD or not. But for those of us who do struggle with CPTSD, setting goals and working on achieving those goals is extremely helpful for healing from and overcoming CPTSD and getting our lives back. The reason doing this is so powerful in healing from CPTSD is that in the process of setting and achieving goals for ourselves, we are working to overcome our feelings of low self-esteem and low self-confidence, our vicious inner critic, our toxic shame, and to counter our general sense of powerlessness and helplessness by directly experiencing our own personal power. Not only that, but setting and achieving goals will allow us to do this all in one shot. A big part of the narcissistic abuse you experienced in your life was the narcissist specifically working to tear you down emotionally and mentally so that you would ultimately be more emotionally and psychologically dependent on them. By setting and achieving goals for yourself, you will be empowering yourself with direct personal experience as well as real-life skills so that your feelings of helplessness and powerlessness subside. In other words, the narcissist's emotional and psychological hold on you will be broken the more you empower yourself by setting and achieving goals. You wouldn't believe how many things I simply never learned or didn't know due to dealing with narcissistic abuse and CPTSD in my life. Not only were there a lot of things my parents and family never taught me directly because of all the chaos and fighting that was going on, but I was also simply frozen in shock, fear, and confusion to the degree where I didn't learn or experience many things that most people generally learn and experience in life. By making a list of all those things that I didn't know and simply working on learning them, it made me feel so much better about myself. My confidence began to rise, and my shame surrounding not knowing certain things I felt I should know as a grown man began to dissolve as well. I honestly feel and believe that setting and achieving goals for yourself is one of the best ways to experience your own personal power and to take your life back in a real way. It's much more effective in my experience than simply thinking positive or giving yourself a pep talk because you experience from the inside out, accomplishing things and empowering yourself with knowledge and various skills that will help you in your life overall. So what we're going to be doing in this goal setting workshop is setting some specific goals in specific areas that you can work on achieving. We're going to be setting goals in 3 major areas. We'll be setting personal goals, overcoming fears goals, and learning new things goals. We'll keep it simple by simply setting 3 goals in each of these areas and then picking one goal to focus on accomplishing first before moving on to the next one. So personal goals are simply things that you'd like to achieve for yourself. These are things that are purely meant to be fun and enjoyable for you. Maybe there's something you've been wanting to do or buy or experience, but just haven't gotten around to it. Maybe there's some place you've wanted to go or travel to that you haven't gotten around to yet either. Believe it or not, doing nice things for yourself and treating yourself here and there is a big part of overcoming the issue of self-abandonment. Many of us neglect ourselves and our well-being to the point where we don't even do anything nice for ourselves ever. We may not realize it, but not doing nice things for ourselves once in a while makes our inner or core self feel sort of neglected and unworthy of anything nice. The second area we will be setting some goals in will be things that are sources of anxiety and fear for us. Just as with our personal goals, we will set 3 goals to work on. By setting and achieving goals for ourselves in the area of overcoming fears, we will allow ourselves to alleviate our inner shame and anxiety gradually. Gradually moving through fears that you have will be doing what Pete Walker calls therapeutic flashbacks. Therapeutic flashbacks are when you gradually expose yourself to certain situations that you feel a little nervous or anxious about. Doing this will allow you to alleviate toxic shame that is within you, your self-confidence and self-esteem will rise, and you'll feel much better as you do so. You don't have to do anything extreme like climbing a mountain with no gear on or giving a speech to a big group of people or anything like that. Take your CPTSD into account and just strive to do tiny things little by little that make you a little uncomfortable. It could be just saying something simple to someone at the grocery store like, "Hi, how are you?" or something along those lines. Just think of some things that make you feel a little nervous and strive to work towards facing one small fear at a time. The next area to focus on will be learning new things. By learning new things, you will not only be experiencing your own personal power, but you will also be increasing your self-confidence and self-worth. These could be things like learning how to change a tire or fix a leaky faucet in your house. Try to see if there's anything that most people know how to do that you just never learned and focus on learning these things first. One of my favorites was learning how to cook. I didn't know how to cook anything for the longest time, so I made learning how to cook some basic healthy meals one of my goals, and I am so happy I did. You see, this is a great example of learning something that not only allowed me to experience my personal power, but that also allowed me to learn valuable skills that I could take with me for the rest of my life. Whatever you choose, just pick 3 simple things that you don't know how to do and write them down as goals for you to work on achieving. Now, in each of these 3 areas, personal goals, overcoming fears goals, and learning new things goals, you can also set goals for yourself specifically as they relate to healing from CPTSD. For example, maybe one of your goals will be to focus on taming your inner critic for some time just to get the hang of it. Maybe one of your goals is working on noticing and moving through emotional flashbacks when they happen, or of practicing assertiveness and effective communication skills. With everything we've covered in the course as far as overcoming CPTSD is concerned, you don't have to do it all at once. Rather, you can simply pick one area of focus as one of your goals and set some time for you to practice in that one area. Just focus on one thing at a time and take baby steps. With that said, we will conclude this module with the exercise for today. So obviously, the exercise for today will simply be setting your goals for yourself and writing them down. Get your notebook and write down 3 personal goals. Underneath that, write down 3 overcoming fears goals. And then underneath that, write down 3 learning new things goals. Just write the goals themselves down and don't worry about creating plans for them right now. Once you are finished with this, simply pick one of these goals to focus on accomplishing first and grab a note card for you to write your goal down on. This is where you will write out your goal, a simple plan for achieving that goal, as well as setting a reasonable deadline for getting this goal done. You know, when it comes to setting and achieving goals for myself, I found that giving myself some breathing room to get the goal done really helped in my ability to achieve that goal. And what I mean by this is that I would commit to doing a small amount towards my goal daily, no matter what, that was reasonable and achievable. And you know what I found? If I could do a little bit towards my goal daily that was easy to achieve, it gave me the motivation to continue to work on my goal more than I had to, and before I knew it, I had achieved my goal before the deadline I set for myself. What you don't want to do is overwhelm yourself with huge goals that you have to accomplish in short periods of time. This will just cause you to feel overwhelmed and your project or goal probably won't be achieved. Remember, less is more. Now what you're going to do is take this card that you wrote your one goal down on and keep it nearby because it is actually going to be a large part of your daily practice for healing from CPTSD that we will be learning in tomorrow's module. So you don't have to worry about focusing on achieving your goal right at this moment if you don't want to. Today is just to write your goals down and to pick one and create a note card for yourself. Tomorrow, when we learn the healing from CPTSD process, you will be guided as to how you can go about achieving your goal in an effective way that will help in your overall healing and growth. Have fun with setting your goals for today's exercise, and I will see you in tomorrow's module.